Well, hello there, guys. We're just now starting our stream. We're going to actually officially start the stream in about 5 minutes. We just want to check some stuff here, so please bear with us. Alright guys, if you're just arriving, we are going to be live very, very soon. Of course, now we're just waiting for a few more people to show up, and then we will get started. So hello, I already see some people here on Twitch. If you guys are seeing just the screen right now, that's fine. We actually have this set up on dashboard mode. It's a little harder to get decisive campaigns in an actual format like this unless we do dashboard view. So I will be, if I take a look at the chat, you will see me jump out of the game quickly, something like that. But for the most part, we're going to try to stay right here on this screen or on the main game screen. So I'm definitely going to be playing as the Germans, without a doubt. And what we're going to actually try to do here is we're going to try to continue this stream in the future. So the next time we have a Decisive Campaigns stream, we can just basically continue the stream we started today. I am going to take off Geneva Convention rules. It's really interesting how you can add the Geneva Convention. You can add a mild winter. You can make this historical. Right now, the only thing I've actually put onto the game is the Fog of War. So we're going to go ahead and keep the Fog of War on and get started here. And hopefully we do all right as the Germans. So let's get started, guys. And once again, we will wait a few minutes, maybe 2 more minutes before we actually start moving units. But we've pretty much gotten the beginning here. So this is a special pre-start turn. Battle is yet to commence. It would be wise to choose a strategy. Check the report tab, summon to Berlin, or you could delegate the paperwork, ignore everything, and get on with the war. I always like to mess around with the paperwork. It's actually pretty important here. So let me go ahead and do the reps. This is where we get sort of the summon to Berlin quote. So the Fuhrer has requested your presence in Berlin in order to agree upon a strategy for Operation Barbarossa. Transport will be provided. You are expected to present and correct, be present and correct at the Reich Chancellery at 1000 hours tomorrow morning. Delegate staff officers will be present in lieu of yourself is not acceptable. The Fuhrer is busy and a prompt arrival would be wise. Okay, so we're going to go and make the decision, and we are going to support Hitler's plans. We want to stay on the side of the Fuhrer for now. In this game, you can actually get fired from being a general. I think you can be imprisoned. I'm not sure if that's just the Soviets. But we're going to wait just a little bit longer, guys. Wait for a few more people to show up. How's it going, Jose Lilu? Good to see you, man. We've got a few others here. We've got some people, obviously, here in Twitch and some people on YouTube as well. Very cool to see you guys. So, like I said, we do have this in a sort of display mode setting. So I will be checking your chat every now and again. But for now, I'm just going to be able to check this way, and then I'm jumping back to the game itself. Ooh, we got really far from the front. Let's go back. Okay, so we've already accepted the Fuhrer's proposal. And right now, the Eisbahntruppe construction battalions are standing by to convert Russian rail to standard gauge, suitable for German locomotives and rolling stock. Advanced planning is crucial as there is a requirement for intensive timetable adjustments to allow the track conversion to take place. And I think we should probably try and support this. So we're going to convert the Narva line, and eventually I think we can also convert the Dunneburg line. But for now, we'll convert the Narva line. We're going to select the route for AGC. This is for Army Group Center. Let's go ahead and do the Brest-Minsk line. And as you can see, we're running out of political points, so we've got to be careful. It looks like the Eisentruppe's construction battalions are undermanned and undersupplied. This will have the inevitable consequences of suboptimal rail conversion rate. So we can actually improve this, but as you can see, 76 political points. Let's properly equip them. That's 11 political points, though. That's expensive. We also have some what-ifs. If you put on historical mode, this what-if scenario doesn't pop up, but since we're playing the non-historical mode, we can actually do a what-if, maybe have Antonescu support us right away, so have the Romanians support us immediately, or have the Finns support us immediately. But I think right now we're just going to wait on the what-ifs. We'll just play fairly historical. And like I said, what we're going to try to do, guys, is no matter what happens during this stream, we're going to continue this in our next streams when we do play Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa. Hey, how's it going, Wavell? Good to see you, man. So when we play Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa, we're going to try and just continue the game, essentially. So at this point, I'm going to end the turn. We've done everything we can. We could actually drop some cards. Oh, that's right. We can't drop cards this turn, maybe next turn. So let's end the turn and get this baby started. It is not truth that matters, but victory. Well, that's kind of true. After listening to all advice, has issued a directive and expects all commanders to adhere to his preferred strategy. So in this case, priority 1 is Leningrad, which our northern army should be able to take. Destroy army HQs. I mean, of course, that goes without saying. Rostov in the south and Moscow in the center. So he's got quite a lot of sort of suggestions here. Now, this aide-de-camp is going to actually allow us to take a look at what to do for each of our army groups. If you guys see AGN, AGC, AGS, that refers to Army Group North, Army Group Center, and Army Group South. And basically, it's showing us that we don't have any command focus on any of these army groups. We don't have siege artillery. The Luftwaffe is currently fully occupied, obtaining air superiority, so they're doing fine. And some divisions actually require our attention. So do some decisions. This is the war diary of Soldat Private Hugo Lerche of the 24th Infantry Division. Marked with a red H. Your handling of the 24th Infantry Division plays a large part in Private Hugo's fate. If Hugo dies or is seriously wounded, in any given playthrough, the diaries will cease. Hugo will return in subsequent playthroughs, so we've wound back the clock, although perhaps in a different division. Hugo is fictitious, as are all the other characters mentioned. He is one of the vast number of men that you are responsible for. Men that trust you. Men who believe you will get them safely home for Christmas to the embrace of their loved ones. Don't let them down. Hugo's mother is depending on you. Well, Hugo's mother is going to be a little disappointed, I think. I'd love to win this before Christmas, but we're going to have to wait and see. So we'll start, of course, over here in Army Group North, and I could play a card. And actually what I think I want to do is do a Blitzkrieg AGN for Army Group Center. So let's do Blitzkrieg for Army Group Center here. And I want to see no units selectable. Oh, that's not good. Wait a minute. Maybe we have to wait a turn or two. Let's try the Blitzkrieg for Army Group North. No units selectable. Okay, we might actually have to wait to allocate our generals. Usually I don't play those cards immediately. I don't play the cards in general immediately. Hello, Kangaks. Let's be decisive, says Yogic Fire. And it's good to see 25 here on Twitch. Good to see you guys. Let's see how the YouTubers are doing. 5. You guys got to catch up a little bit. The Imperium Mankind's war policy is pretty much the same as Hitler's. Yeah, I think we were discussing this the last time we were doing a 40k game, is that 40k in general it's a very, it's not, or I should say, it's a very black and white universe in the sense there's really no good guys and bad guys. Everybody is either good or bad in some way, or some of them are just bad in the 40k universe. So let's go ahead and bring the 36th Motorized Division over here. We're going to start tackling the Soviets up north. So I'm going to get the first battle going here. I'm going to send in our SS Motorized Division Totenkopf. This is one of the stronger SS divisions. And I just want to get up to 200. As you can see, once we get past 200, we're actually doing ourselves a disservice. We don't want to be wasting our men, so let's attack. And let's see how we do against the Soviets. Beautiful. So we've got some Soviet retreats. And as you guys could imagine, especially if you were the Soviets in the times like this, you suddenly see German soldiers coming across the border. You really have no idea what to do. It must be a pretty terrifying situation. Let's see how much damage we can do to this unit. Very nice. Retreat. That is what happens to people that lose their retreat. Very good. And actually, we could attack them again. I think we could attack them again. I'm going to take this tank unit. And obviously, we want to try to get past the enemy like this. We want to break through with the Blitzkrieg tactic. But we've got to be careful because we don't want to get stuck. You know, that would be a problem. I'm going to send in the Totenkopf division. So SS division's going to attack more than once. I believe they can usually attack twice. Let's go ahead and attack. We want to get to that HQ. That's actually what I'm going for. You can also take a look here at different kinds of details in this game. So in the textual detail, we actually get the amount of dead on our side and the enemy side. We lost 200. They lost 6,000. Pretty much a total victory there. I don't think that there's any way to spin it. Even with Soviet propaganda, is going to be very difficult. Let's go ahead and hit this guy as well. Alright, so once again, I'm going to have to go into the tanks. Now, I don't recommend attacking wooded areas with tanks, but we're going to do it this time. Obviously, in the future, probably not something you want to do. And the same goes for urban areas. Really, the only time you want to be using your tanks is when the enemy's out in an open field, something like this. And the rest of the time, you want to be taking your tanks and trying to, of course, cut off more of the enemy rail, etc. I'm already going to start moving some more troops up, guys, getting them right there near the enemy, and really closing our front in a bit, really making this a much more stable front. So actually, I think we can hit this guy again, and there's an HQ in his stack, which Herr Hitler has told us must be destroyed. So we're going to attack. Hopefully we get lucky here. Nice. Got the HQ unit to retreat, and in general, we're doing a pretty good job. Obviously, I'd like to send out some more tanks behind enemy lines, but that can wait. That can definitely wait. We've got the general here quite close to these men. I'm actually going to move him just a little bit closer so that we absolutely get fuel over here to this tank division. Now let's try and do some damage to the rest of the Soviets. So first, let's hit the weaker units, the 23rd Rifle Division. I don't want to send everybody in. I just want to send a good portion of our men in. There we go. Yes, retreat, you dog. And we can probably go ahead and keep moving these guys forward. One concern is also moving the enemy back and not moving our men up quickly enough. So I'm going to go ahead and move our men up to make sure that they're on that front line and that they're ready to, of course, go to battle no matter what happens. Let's go ahead and send in the Totenkopf division and the tanks. Nice. He's almost fully destroyed. Hello, Firefly Boy. How's it going, buddy? And Ersak. Oh, everything's already in Blitzkrieg posture, so that's why Ersak. That makes total sense. Thank you, Ersak. That totally makes sense. All right. And I don't usually do much on the Finnish front, although I think this time I'll go ahead and maybe attack just one area just for fun. We could actually have gotten that up to 300. Actually, not so bad on the Finnish front. We actually forced some Soviets back. But our main concern is destroying the enemy here. So let's go ahead and grab another unit. And actually, I want to send this guy up north a bit. We might even be able to do some damage to this army here. Although they look pretty strong, I have to say. So let's actually hit this guy with just 2 units. And this is going to be the 291st and the 217th. Let's attack. Beautiful. A nice little retreat there by the enemy. And of course now I'm going to send some more infantry in, and I'm just trying to break a line through here so that we can send some tank units. So let's just see if we can bust through the line. Yeah, we don't want to go up to 300, so we'll keep it at 200. Nice. He's gone. Let's try to get rid of another group here, just to make enough room, like I said, for our tanks to break through. 291 is a bit too much. I think we'll keep it at that. 218. Okay, retreat. Wunderbar. Of course, it looks like they still kind of hold this area. It's still going to be tough to get past them. So we might send some more units forward, maybe some infantry first, and focus on the blitz with our tanks next turn. That might have to be something we have to do here. Alright, let's go for an attack again on the enemy infantry here. And we've got just enough men to match up with them. Although, of course, our men are trained and prepared for this fight. Whereas the enemy is pretty unsure what the hell is going on. Can't even really trust the reports from neighboring platoons. Because once they hear that the Germans are attacking, they're kind of confused. They're like, no, that's not possible. All right, I think we're going to try to hit this guy just because the HQ is so close here. And if we can get this guy to run away, we can go straight for the HQ. So let's get him out of here. Well, that's... All right, I think we can take some infantry here. We know the HQ's in that general area, so... Let's keep moving these guys in. We might try to get as many people to retreat to that HQ as possible before we move in, so I'm going to send this guy there as well, and just basically like get these guys packed together like sardines. I think then it's going to be a lot easier to finish them off all at once. And look at that. He's already going to retreat, and you better bet he's going to retreat right into that HQ area. So we'll try to get our boys up. Even if they can't attack this turn, I think getting them up is going to be important here. All right, let's go for it. No, this is not good. I thought for sure. No, that was the wrong one. It's this one. There we go. So just enough men to push through here and hit the headquarters unit. Beautiful. Everybody is retreating. Headquarters unit lost one, which is certainly useful. And I believe the city of Bialystok is here. So we do want to try to take this area if we can. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get any attacks at all. No, unfortunately, these troops are not ready exactly for an attack. However, we could smash this unit. Pretty straightforward rifle division. So we're going to go ahead and try to get some attackers here on the line. And I'm not going to attack with a tank, as you can see, especially since they're in the mountains here. I'm just going to send in the men. We want to try and save those tanks. They're very important, as you could probably imagine. And I'm going to actually keep moving forward here. Let's take a look here at the chat. Good to see you guys talking about it. I saw you playing Germans a couple of times. You ever try to play Soviets? I have, Dora Niner, and we were actually thinking about playing the Soviets for this Let's Play. The issue is, I think we would have to play the first few turns before things got interesting, because of course at first, as the Soviets, all you're trying to do is save your army as much as possible. Let's take a look here. I think this is the best game in the Decisive Campaign series, says Wavell. I love the role-playing element, although it's not to everyone's taste. And Urzak says, not only the best in the DC series, one of the best turn-based war games ever published. So I can tell you guys really love this game, and I do too, and I also love the RP element. I also love the fact that you can get fired or imprisoned for not doing a good job. I really think it's just a very cool situation, obviously. So I agree with you guys 100%. I haven't really tried... somebody asked about the Soviets. I've tried playing as them, but I've never tried doing it for a Let's Play for you guys. It's certainly something we might do, but as I was mentioning before, and to anybody that just joined the stream, what we're going to try to do, since this game is such a major game, and we hate for you guys to come to the stream and then miss out on the rest of it, is we're going to save this game at the end of the stream, and then the next time we play Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa, depending on how soon you guys want to see it, we're going to come right back to this game and see how we do. So obviously, we really do want to make sure that you guys enjoy the game enough to come back and watch it again. And we don't want to have to start over every single time. So let's go ahead and maybe send some support here. Send the support over here. I'm going to hit this infantry unit. $200. All right, let's go for another attack. Especially in these first few turns, there's a lot of just blatant attacks going on along the front lines. Of course, we're trying to cut a hole through these front lines, but it's easier said than done. Once we cut a hole through, then our tanks can start, routing all their rail lines, really doing some serious damage. That is, of course, the main goal. See if we can do any damage to this guy here. I don't know if I just want to send a tank unit in, but You know what? It's the beginning of the war. They're going to be terrified by our panzers. I think we should try it out. 3 enemy units, and every single one of them retreated. You can definitely tell the war is very early. Even the textual damage here. We lost 10 panzers. The enemy lost 150 trucks, 40 Soviet infantry, 20 Soviet mortars, 20 45 millimeter AT guns. Just a tremendous amount of losses here on the enemy side, which is pretty incredible. And I do want to get to that HQ really badly. I just don't know if we're going to be able to get to it this turn. I definitely want to send these guys back across the bridge, so let's do that. And again, I'm using the tank in not the greatest situation ever, but it'll work. I mean, the enemy will certainly retreat. That's the good news. So as you can see up here in the north and the sort of the center as well, the north center, if that makes sense, we're doing very well. After we're done with the attacks here, we'll move on to the Romanian front. And I've actually had some very good luck on my channel, at least, playing as the Romanians. It really depends how you use them, but I've managed to actually break through and do some serious damage, especially with some German support. But yes, playing as the Romanians can be tough, and as the war progresses and the Soviets get better and better equipment and, you know, better training for the situation they're in, the Romanians become a problem because they really just can't hold the line as well as the German troops can. Initially, though, we need to try to use them to the best of their ability. Let's go ahead. Forwards. Good work, boys. All right, we keep moving forward, of course. Let's take a look here. The AI can really put up a fight, says Erzak, and after that you can go for PBM against other players. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I love to see the love for this game because it is a game that I spend time on, and you know, a lot of the games that I play for you guys just for fun, but this is one of the actual few games where I actually do play at home, you know, just to see how I do. I've never gotten a victory, a total victory. I've gotten pretty close. I've gotten a lot closer as I've learned more about using the cards, etc. Why would you want to hear the accent of Dracula? It is madness. We're going to go ahead and attack here in the center. Okay. There's going to be a big pocket, Soviet pocket there in the center. This might be their best defended position. That isn't to say that they're going to be able to hold us off, but it's definitely the area where they have the biggest chance of surviving somewhat. So we're going to keep on smashing through. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Enemy retreats. And let's see if we can go ahead and hit the tank as well. Or excuse me, the HQ. I think we've already, unfortunately, used up all our troops on the HQ. I really wanted to get one shot in there, but nah, we're going to have to wait till next turn, definitely. Just really trying to be cheap there and get one more shot in. You can't win them all. Let's get this guy at least up on the front. And let's see if these enemies need any more help retreating. It actually looks like there's quite a lot of guys here. Let's get it up to 123. In fact, I'm going to try to get even more men into this attack. So, let me see. I don't think we're going to be able to. Yeah, sadly not. That's okay, though. Not the end of the world. We'll hit them with what we can. And I think in this case, since they're so unprepared, a tank division and an infantry division, a motorized infantry division at that, could actually do a lot of damage. So let's hope that I'm right. And actually, it looks like one of the tank divisions held. So if we look at the textual here, we may have lost some men. We actually even had some men retreat. So not exactly an easy place to break through. Good accents. Playing as Romanians, that's fun. It is very fun to play as Romania. Yeah, I don't think I can do a Romanian accent. Let's go ahead and continue here. It's a tough accent for sure. And actually, many people don't know this, but Romania is a Romance language, just like Portuguese, Spanish, French, Italian. Romania actually is not a Slavic language, or Romanian, I should say. is not a Slavic language. It's a Romance language. So even, you know, for instance, I speak Portuguese, and sometimes when I'm on the odd chance I've had to actually listen to Romanian news, and I have been to Romania, I visited actually when I was younger, you can hear a sort of very similar sounding intonation when they say the words, and it kind of creeps you out. It's kind of like, well, that sounds awfully close to my country, but of course it's very, very different. Let's attack here. We've got an SS brigade in this particular attack as well. Enemies retreating. And let's go ahead and move forward with our tanks too here. So I'm going to go for the weak spots. I don't want to keep all our tanks like together. I want to separate them, because if we make a breakthrough, and I hate to use an American football analogy, but it's like we need multiple areas to break through to score a touchdown. It's that simple. If we just have like everybody on one line, they could all get knocked out. I'd rather just have each on individual lines. Then if we break through in one area, we could start flooding that area, so on and so forth. And it looks like we already panicked the enemy here. We're already panicking them, and the fight hasn't even begun. Well, it's begun, but not in earnest. Let's go ahead, attack. Beautiful hits there. Let's take a look here. Absolutely. Good to see quite a few people here on Twitch. We've got some people on YouTube as well. It's really good to see you guys back. All right. There was a slight drop-off there from when I came back from vacation, but it seems that a lot of you have returned, and I really appreciate it. Okay, let's keep going, guys. Just keep on moving forward and reinforcing the line, I think, is going to be the most important thing now. Vorwärts. Man, they actually managed to do a lot of damage here to our tanks. Or at least made them waste a lot of resources. So as you can see here, guys, I'm just trying to fill in gaps on the front. If it's possible, of course. If it's not possible, no biggie. I do want to move this general a bit closer to his men. I think we've done everything we can on this end. As you can see, like, these initial turns, these first few turns are actually the longest in the game, because you're really just starting the invasion, so there's so much to deal with. And it really becomes quite interesting, quite fascinating. I'm going to hit this very heavily fortified area. I believe there's a town here, and I'm going to send in the infantry. Of course, if you're attacking a town, you want to just try to go in with infantry. Even 267 over 200 is a bit much, but I'm really throwing everything into this attack. Look at that. They actually held. That is enraging. That is really enraging. Now, attacking that same place twice would actually not be a good idea, because the stack continues to increase. So if your attack doesn't go through the first time, and I don't fully understand this, it's pretty much going to fail the next time as well, and you're going to lose some men. So you want to wait at least a turn before you try to restack. In this case, that's exactly what we're doing. We're just waiting a little bit. Let's see. Yes, we're already cutting through. Now, I made a big mistake here. I actually sent my tank into another general's line of sight, and that's why he's red. So I made a mistake here, but it's an easily fixable one. Nonetheless, it's not a mistake I want to make again, because now we're going to have to bring that tank back, and all of that stuff that he gained means absolutely nothing right now. All right, let's get this up. Attack the cavalry. Oh, sorry, this is actually the infantry unit, and once again, another retreating Soviet soldier. It is always wonderful to see. We're going to hit this guy. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Major retreat there, although he didn't take too much damage. The one thing that is frustrating me is that this guy is not yet routed. And as you can see, it's just going to increase the stack if we attack again, so I'm not even sure it's worth it. In fact, you guys can tell me, but from what I've seen, at least my experience, when you have a stack like that, it's just not worth continuing the attack. It's not going to help you out. You're going to end up losing even more men, and it's better to just wait, basically. Let's move forward with all of these infantry units. And I'm actually more concerned with these guys, so I might skip the initial attacks on the front line infantry just to hit these sort of these groups, I guess you could call them, because it's several units merged together actually. So I'm going to send in the SS. I'll send in these guys. I'll send in some tanks. Why not? There we go. Some more retreats. Absolutely beautiful. And we're going to send in our infantry. This might be the first stream we've ever done where one turn takes an entire streaming session, which I actually won't be too upset with. I think that just shows the replayability value of this game. Of course, if you decide to play the historical mode, you can, where things are much more historical. Or you can try, like what I'm doing right now, just play the ahistorical mode and try and see if you can't improve the outcome of whichever side you're playing. Let's see. Let's try to finish that tank off. Don't like having tanks near my tanks. It's not good. That was Russian. 1, 2, 3. I'm trying not to take that damage unit. Nice! 2 retreats. Actually did pretty good there, guys. Alright. Wow, Firefly just came from a short vacation in Leningrad, St. Petersburg now. I wonder if Agrippa can envelope it today. Oh, envelop. I see what you're going for. Oh no, now I'm going to turn into a grammar Nazi. Sorry. I'm mean. Alright, there we go. So that's really, really cool. I'd love to take Leningrad. Be epic. I mean, it'd be epic. I mean, I don't think I've actually taken Leningrad since I've started playing this game. That's how much of a noob I am. You know, I've had probably like 3 campaigns that I've tried, sincerely tried. I don't think I've once taken Leningrad. I think the farthest I got was Kiev and Kharkov. I never got to Stalingrad. I never got to Rostov. So all of my campaigns have basically ended like right here, even before the dawn, and Stalingrad has remained totally untouched. So my luck has not been perfect in this game, but I've learned a lot, obviously, with the cards, with the delegating orders, etc. So I think I'm going to do much better with this particular playthrough, but if I don't, then don't hold it against me, guys. I think we are Alien Gold. I think we are. There's a little bit of us anyway. We want the grammar to be correct. No, I'm just kidding, man. It really doesn't make a difference. I knew exactly what you were talking about. All right, nice. More retreats, and it looks like if you guys take a look at the Soviet line, it's getting pretty nasty right now. It's becoming very haggard, and it's kind of hard to even see where all their main fronts are. I mean, it's obvious that they're in a bad situation. But how much more damage could we cause these guys? Let's see. Enemy retreat. Glory. I'm also going to see if we can't hit the cavalry unit. I was pretty sure we had an attack. Nope, I was mistaken. But we can move into Przemysl, guys. So we got our first town here. We've liberated. No, the Germans don't liberate. What would be the correct term for the Germans to even use when attacking and capturing Russian towns? I think it would probably just be capturing. Certainly the Germans were under no guise that they were liberating anyone, unless you count the invasion of Czechoslovakia. They could have said back then that they were liberating German citizens. They could have made that excuse. But with attacking Russia, I'm not sure what word they would use. Liquidating, perhaps? We're not sure. Let's go ahead. We could actually get this attack up to 300, but I'm going to go with just this. And there we go. A lot of enemy retreats. And of course the enemy tank retreated as well there. Let's grab these guys. It looks like they've moved all they can this turn. It looks like a few might still be able to move up. Let's grab this guy. Okay, and actually the Romanian front is static right now. So this is the what-if scenario. If we had hit the what-if scenario, the Romanians would already be mobilized and ready to attack. Since we didn't, they're actually going to kind of stand by and just wait for, basically wait for the buzzer, wait for the bell to start the attack. Let's go ahead and list. No, I think we did not do that correctly. Yeah, there we go. 2, 3. We'll even send in 1 tank division. Why not? Damn, they actually did a very good job there. I have to admit, the enemy held out very well with that attack. That was not my greatest moment at all. Let's get our cavalry forward. And yeah, one thing you have to realize about the Germans that a lot of people don't know, you know, everybody's always under the impression that the Germans during the war were extremely technologically advanced. And in many ways they were, for instance, with tanks, etc. But there's a little known fact about the Germans during the war, and that is they transported a tremendous amount of their equipment by horse. When you can't transport something by train or rail car, when you need to get it through a tough area, horses were very often used. So especially moving German anti-tank guns, things like this, it absolutely happened that horses were used for that purpose. And probably for plenty of other purposes as well that I wouldn't even want to go into here. Let's go ahead and move forward here. Keep on moving. Like I said, guys, just trying to scrunch my men up against that front line. And let's see if we can get an attack here. I think we can. Not bad, not bad. Really, no side was winning there. I mean, no side can really claim to have victory. And I think at this point, we can pretty much turn it over to the Soviets. First, though, let's get a few more attacks in. And as a matter of fact, kind of depends here, but I think we might be able to send a tank through. Yep. So what I'm trying to do is actually get to the rails over here at Lvov. If we can get enough tanks through to Lvov, well, we can end up actually knocking those rails out, and it would basically cut off this entire Soviet army. If they're not getting rails or rail support from any other part of the map, they're going to eventually just disintegrate. I mean, there's nothing there. If you don't have ammunition, if you don't have new clothes, if you don't have food, water, what's going to happen to your army? It's going to be completely destroyed, completely annihilated. Let's take a look here. Deoccupy, says Firefly Boy. I like that one. I'm risky, I can make mistakes. Of course you can, man. Freed from the communists, they would say. So liberated. Yeah, they actually might use the word liberated as well. Of course, they probably would proceed to kill just about everybody in the village, but... Wow, interesting. Coats as well. Yeah, Alien Gold's making a great point. Coats would also be an issue. And one of the cool things about the non-historical gameplay setting, which of course is one of the gameplay settings you could take, you basically just don't click the historical gameplay when you start your game, and you can actually research the Russian winter. Imagine how much better the Germans would have done had they been able to know that the Russian winter was coming and actually manage to get some decent winter clothing to their men. Would they have won the war? Unlikely, but I think the war would have probably gone on a few more years, and they might have gotten a little closer to taking many Russian cities. So who knows? And in this game, you can do that, which I think is pretty cool. All right, guys, now we're going to go to the reps decision. This is interesting. So, Koleva Floskigung, I have no idea how to say that. The synthetic fuel industry is slowly ramping up production in the Vaterland. AG Farben, and AG Farben is of course a corporation that exists today, are planning a new plant complex that promises a 20% overall increase in synthetic fuel oil production. It may be possible to fast-track the construction of this new plant if the Central Planning Committee approves. I am going to try and petition for accelerated timeline. Once again, we do have a lot of political points, but these are going to disappear quickly. And if we just keep, giving everybody what they want, that's not going to be good either. So fuel allocation right now for each of our theaters, this is interesting. Army Group North is getting 20%, Army Group Center is getting 53%, Army Group South is getting 27%. I like this situation, so I'm going to favor Army Group Center. It's going to piss some of the people off. Von Rundstedt didn't like it at all. He's upset now. And we can actually look at the relationships we have with our generals over here. So we can see here the way that most of the generals feel about us. It looks like General Gerke really likes us. Von Bock of Army Group Center loves us, of course, but von Rundstedt of Army Group South hates us, and with reason. I mean, we're basically doing everything we can to keep the fuel away from him and send it to our friends in Army Group Center. Reports are in from 3 Luftflotte commandants, and it appears our initial air offensive has been an outstanding success. In fact, it's hard to believe that the extent of our victory, but reconnaissance flights have confirmed what the logical mind can't fathom. And this is awesome. Initial estimates are over 2,000 enemy planes destroyed, most on the ground, at the cost of approximately 40 of our own planes. Fragmentation bomblets used against runways were found to, on occasion, explode prematurely, and this accounted for about half of our losses. The few enemy fighters that did manage to get airborne were easily dealt with. A poor level of pilot training was evident. It is important to not forget that we were fighting a primitive people, and we should not expect them to have harnessed the power of flight to achieve military aims. Good God. Nor should we be surprised when they manifestly fail to take even basic defensive precautions at their airfields. It will be a short campaign. So now, I think we're going to maintain the air offensive for as long as possible. For 4 more days, the Red Army will find it difficult to operate, but no ground support will be available. Now, what I'm not understanding is why is it actually 0 PP to continue for 12 days? I think we just want to continue the offensive for 4 more days. It's expensive, but we're going to keep blasting away all of these areas. Now, Army Group Center is actually asking for some rear guard units. I think I'm going to leave mop-up detail for another fortnight. And then, of course, we'll deliver that to Army Group Center. Let's take a look here at everybody. You open I like that one. Firefly Boy put a good joke down below. I was mentioning before that you could research the Russian winter to like get better coats, things like this in the game for your German troops. And Firefly Boy came with a great response. He goes, "How do you research Russian winter? You open the calendar." Duh. These are great, absolutely great. Goring at his finest, says Firefly Boy. Look at that. We jumped back up to 21. Something you said, Alien Gold, worked there. We also have 7 viewers over on YouTube, so hello to both. All right, let's take a look here. Move forward. I think we might still have 1 attacking us. Yep. Major enemy retreat there. And I think for now we're in an okay situation here. So we are going to end the turn it over to the Soviets, and hope for the best, my friends. All right, so a lot of retreats. As you can see all along the front, there's just a tremendous amount of retreats. Some of the units are fortifying themselves, but right now the Soviets don't have a lot to work with, unfortunately, for them. They really have to kind of take what they've got, and right now it's not much. So as you can see, they're pulling back to Lvov. They might actually let us take Lvov, or they might just be trying to defend the city even more. I'm not 100% certain, but a tremendous amount of retreat here. Also, don't forget, guys, where to find the game. We always leave that, especially on our Twitch screen, in the area down below your video screen. You can actually see where to purchase the game. I would highly recommend picking it up. I mean, as many have said here, this is a great game. It's a grand strategy game that also has a lot of RPG elements, which I think is fascinating. Okay, Hungary has been attacked by the Russians from the air in the vicinity of the frontier. An official declaration of war is not intended, only retaliation for the air attack. Okay, so they're at war, but they're not at war. So, of course, I told you guys, we incurred a PP penalty for that 1 tank division we moved out of the area it was supposed to be at. I'm going to try to get there. June 1941, 26th. Treading on a mine is what we all dread. You can apparently hear the click, and you've got 2 seconds before your legs are torn from your body. Jumping, rolling, or diving doesn't work. Wow. We saw a Russian deliberately sit on one of his own mines. Maybe he thought it wouldn't go off if he did? Holy crap. Past a number of civilians hanging from lampposts in a side street. Gefreiter Dietrich insists that they must have been partisans. So as you can see, you wouldn't actually see this story if you didn't have the, if you didn't turn off the Geneva Convention thing. Again, if you've got like a kid or something like that you want to get them into strategy games, you can turn on the Geneva Convention, which will take away all these sort of ugly, vicious, violent stories. I love to hear them. I think they're fascinating, but that possibility exists if you're trying to get somebody into this game and maybe they have a weaker stomach. Not right now. All right, so let's go ahead and smash through this. I've been wanting to destroy this Red Army HQ for a while. Let's see what we can do. My goodness, we've got so many men willing to attack here. So I can't bring it up to 291. That's just pointless. And let's see if we can destroy an Army HQ. Yeah, panicked. There's only one left in that unit, so if we can get some more guys in here, we actually could destroy it. We're also going to take Bialystok, very important city, and I would love to get another attack here. Let's send in our motorized division Das Reich. This, of course, is a SS division that fought to the very end of the war. Let's keep it up. And it looks like the HQ just barely managed to retreat, but we did break certain units. Now, when you break a unit in this game, you've essentially destroyed it. There's nothing you can really do to hold on. It's destroyed. It's finished. It's kaputt, as the Germans would say. Let's go ahead and hit this unit too. And mainly the reason I'm hitting this area is because there are HQs here. And of course, when we actually got the plan from Hitler in the beginning of this entire Let's Play, he told us that he wanted us to go after HQs. That was priority number 2, I believe, or priority number 3. In any case, it was a very high priority, so we don't want to piss him off. We're also going to take the 6th Panzer Division, go over here and cut off the rail line to Riga, and we're also cutting off the rail line over here to the east as well. They're still getting some rail support from Minsk and these areas, but, you know, obviously just imagine getting 2 major rails cut off. The amount of supplies you're going to get, etc., it's going to be greatly diminished. So this is definitely a cause for concern for the Reds. Let's go ahead and try to get another attack, and I think we can, with an SS division helping as well. Beautiful. Broken. Look at how many we destroyed there. That was beautiful. An absolute just festival of destruction. And I'm going to take this tank. Now, this tank's actually running out of fuel, but we're going to go ahead and cut him off for a bit. Cut off the enemy units. See if we can break through. If not, we'll have to wait till next turn to break through. And obviously, we've got the ability to play cards now. So we could actually bring in some artillery support, counter battery support. We could bring in some Luftwaffe resupplies. But I think right now our guys are doing fine. They don't really need any resupplies or any cards at all for that matter. Let's take a look here. How much time is one game round? 1 day, 3 days? I think it's, oh, thank you. Like, I actually thought it was a week. This is, once again, why a lot of the times my subscribers, my users, or the users here on the channel, know a lot more than I do. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. Firefly Boy says, I love how you can see the actual unit composition, tanks, guns, trucks. Actually shows why the very early war Germans were superior. Their units were very smartly composed. Yeah, that's very true. And of course, just the ability to drive through the Soviet lines, cut them off. There were also a ton of communication problems, from what I understood, with the Soviets between, you know, individual brigades. Some of them not believing that the invasion was happening. Some of them maybe being a little too eager to get into contact with the Germans. So, of course, there was a lot of issues either way. Let's jump in here once again. And we're going to be ending this stream very, very soon here, guys. We started this stream today at 4:30, so we are going to end probably in a few minutes. I just wanted to get it started. I wanted to make sure we got a few of you guys, of course, here to start watching. And I've actually got to go get back to work here at Slytherin. We've got a lot to do today. Unfortunately, I can't go into detail about what we're doing, but it's pretty major stuff. So let me go ahead and attack here. And I'm going to definitely save this game just so that, there's the alarm, sorry about that, just so that I don't forget. I want to absolutely save this game. So we're going to save this, and I think we're just going to put this under Agrippa loses. Well, I'm actually not losing yet, but I think I'll do okay. We definitely won't forget that save game name. So if we want to come back and play, then we can certainly find it pretty easily. But I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. It was great to see everybody here, and I really respect the folks that have played this game and really seem to enjoy it. The RP element, as mentioned before, I agree, is just a great element. And you sort of just determine what kind of general you are, not just in terms of your overall strategy, but you also determine what kind of general you are in terms of your friends. In this case, as you can see, the von Brauchwitz hates us. Von Rundstedt, not really a big fan of us, but General Gerke on the trains, he loves us because we've done a lot of favors for him. We seem to be using his trains quite a lot. We kind of give him a reason to stick around, and you've obviously got to determine who you're going to support. You can be an anti-Nazi, you could be pro-Nazi, depending on how you're going to go about it, and really your goal is, at least in my eyes, to try and make it to the end of the war. Maybe not even necessarily get a victory, just try and survive. If you start getting a lot of losses left and right, you better bet that you will either be fired, imprisoned. I think there's other things that they could do, but if essentially your overlords will not be happy, which I think is another really cool part of the game, just that aspect alone. Hello, Vinterade. It's good to see you, man. I hope he does something awesome. Thank you, Firefly. All right, my friends, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed. I got to get back to work, but I really do hope you guys liked this game. Like I said, just go down below to the Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa right here. If you want to pick up the game, just go to the Steam store, or you can, of course, go directly to Matrix Games or Slytherin Games and pick it up there. But I do hope you guys stop by. So thank you so much to my Twitch friends, and thank you to my YouTube friends as well. It was really cool to have both of you guys here. And Andres C says, counting on the possibility of a winter campaign would have defeated the basic strategic premise of Barbarossa. That's a really good point, Andre, on YouTube, and definitely makes sense. And thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a great, great day, and thank you guys for stopping by.